You're listening to the Weekend Sport Podcast with Jason Pine from News Talk ZB.
Let's bring in a true NRL legend. Kevin Campion played over 240 NRL games for clubs including the Dragons, Broncos, Cowboys and of course the New Zealand Warriors, where he played 2 seasons and was part of the side that reached the club's first grand final in 2002. Great to have you on the show, Kevin. What do you remember most about that 2002 season and playing in the grand final with the Warriors?
Mate, I guess we built a sort of a winning culture that particular year. We made the finals for the first time in 2001 and sort of backed it up in 2002. Got on a really good roll, and yeah, look, it was a weird season. I think the Bulldogs were leading the whole way, and they got stripped of their points for a salary cap breach, and lucky for us, we became minor premiers for that. And yeah, look, it was just a great ride, and I can imagine it being similar to what it is now at Mount Smart. But back in the day, there was no crowd like the Warriors crowd.
How big an influence was Stacey Jones on that team?
Well, he's like an Alfie Langer was to the Broncos. He was a massive influence. He was the leader of the side, and I think he was a great. I think he got the Golden Boot that year, 2002. So he had a tremendous year, and it was just disappointing that we didn't get him a ring. That's for sure.
From memory, you were going to sign with Warrington, weren't you? Why did you end up coming to the Warriors instead?
Yeah, well, I went over. Luckily for me, I went over for the 2000 World Cup and played for Ireland, and I think it was the worst weather in 400 years. So I did a backflip, and I rang Wayne, and I rang Wayne Bennett, and he got me out of the contract there and got me to the Warriors, which was just perfect timing.
Well, the good people of Auckland will be delighted that their weather is better than what's up in the Northern Hemisphere around the same time. But I mean, like I say, you've played a lot of rugby league, but do you fondly remember your time in Auckland with the Warriors?
Yeah, look, I think I'm more recognised over in New Zealand than I am anywhere else. Look, obviously, I've played for the Broncos and won premierships there, but that time, those 2 years in Auckland, really stamped, the Warriors' rise, and luckily for me, I was part of the ride, and just had a wonderful time.
The Warriors of 2023, could they emulate the Warriors of 2002 and the Warriors of 2011 and go all the way to the grand final? What have you made of them this year?
Look, I'm not going to compare the two sides because, well, they're uncomparable, but they're playing really good, consistent football. They've got a great, strong forward pack like we did. They've got a half that's in form like we did, and they've got some strike weapons in the back line like we did. So, look, they've got all the ingredients for it. Look, going into it's another game going into the final. So, my only concern is that we haven't played anyone inside the top 8 in the last 8 weeks. I don't know if that's going to, backfire on us. I'm not sure, but we just have to play simple football and do what we've been doing to get us here.
In your experience, because of course you had the Warriors grand final, you won 2 grand finals with the Broncos as well.
Yep.
Is that important going into a final series across 4 or 5 weeks, having had some tough rugby league in the 2 or 3 games before that?
Yeah, well, you want to be challenged, and that's what you base your game on, and how you compete and how you handle that pressure. So, we've been playing some really good football, but we haven't been challenged. Unfortunately, in the last 8 weeks, we've been playing sides, at the bottom of the table, and I'm really confident. Although that we haven't been playing those sides, I'm really confident that we can make a real impact in the final series.
Kevin, what has changed from the team that's finished outside the top 8 in the last 4 seasons to one which is now locked into the top 4 in 2023?
Yeah, well, I just, from an outside looking, I think there's just a lot more stability in the club. They've got a good coach. The players, obviously they respect the coach and they're playing for him, so that's a big difference. I just think, they're a lot more settled, the boys. I spent a lot of time with them last year when they were based in Redcliffe, and they just, they just had the world on their shoulders, and they just wanted to get out of the place. So they weren't settled. They weren't living in, it's different when you're living at home and you're doing that. You've got the same routine every day, and you've got family around, you've got the support around you. So I think that's the main factor. They're back in New Zealand and they're happy.
How do you assess the contribution of Tohu Harris wearing that 13 jumper that you wore for a while?
Oh, look, he's been outstanding. He's probably my favourite player on the side, and we would be lost without him. His leadership is second to none. And even last year, even the last couple of years, he's been playing on one leg, and we just can't afford to miss him. That's for sure, because we will miss him.
And I mentioned the Broncos, you won 2 grand finals with. They're top as we speak, although Penrith could overtake them if they beat the Cowboys later on tonight. The Broncos, though, on the whole, have they impressed you, or what has impressed you about them this season?
Yeah, look, a lot like us. They've got some key players in their side that are in form. I think they're a different side with Adam Reynolds back in the side. He's their little general like Stacey was to us, and he's the director of that team. And you can tell that when he's not there, they struggle a bit with even with their kicking game. They in their field position they just struggle. So look, he's very key to their side. And but all in all, I think I'm really happy for Kevy. Kevy was basically on the chopping block last year, as most coaches are. When you're losing, but look, he's turned it around and he's handled the pressure, and I'm glad to see him come out the other side.
Does a Panthers-Broncos grand final still feel like the most likely outcome?
Well, yeah. Look, 8 weeks ago, I didn't think anyone could beat the Panthers. I thought it was just a one-horse race. But now, I think we're going to make a dent in the finals. We're going to go. We'll go. I think a long way into the final. So I'm hoping. I think the Panthers will be there. It's just I'm just hoping that we will be. And if not, there's a soft spot for the Broncos as well.
I love it how you still call the Warriors we. I think that's great.
Yeah, I love them, mate. They're a great side. They're and they've been good to me over the years. That's for sure.
You're a good man. Hey, Kevin, thanks for taking our call, mate. Really appreciate your insight, and good having a chat.
No worries, guys. Anytime.
All the best. Kevin Campion there. Warriors legend. NRL legend. Made the grand final with the team in 2002, of course.
For more from Weekend Sport with Jason Pine, listen live to News Talk ZB weekends from midday, or follow the podcast on iHeartRadio.